Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the greatest review we've ever done because it's a TNA review.
Is that what we're calling the segment now? Our wrestling reviews are the greatest reviews ever?
No, this is the greatest review.
Oh,
because
just this
it's
one?
a TNA review.
Yeah.
Everything else we reviewed has been old WWE pay-per-views, one AWA show, and two SmackDowns from 2008. I don't really know how great those pay-per-views have been.
We've been really all over the place with our reviews, haven't we?
Yep. And our first TNA pay-per-view that we decided to watch was Turning Point 2009 for the very stupid reason that it had AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels too. And we were like, well, let's watch it to see if it lives up to the first. The issue, Jordan's never seen the first, and I haven't seen it in years and have no memory out of it as of two spots.
Yeah, we said this at the beginning of, we're going to watch this to see if it lives up to the hype. And as we got to the main event,
In the middle of it.
we realized, one of us hasn't seen this in probably a couple years. The other one hasn't seen the first match at all. So,
We have no...
how are we going to compare this to the first one?
We can't.
Yeah.
Maybe down the line we'll watch Unbreakable and compare it to the second one.
That sounds awful.
It really does. TNA Turning Point 2009 from the Impact Zone in Florida in front of people because I didn't pay attention to the audience number.
5,000?
It started with a video package for the pay-per-view, which gave us a bunch of inspirational quotes. And if you can't take inspiration from TNA, you can't take inspiration from anything, such as "Change is inevitable. Turning point is here. This time to become to realize our potential
Oh boy.
and to overcome." Then they showed videos of all the guys on the card, but they mainly did hype for a few main matches.
Well, you're forgetting. So, you're talking about the match card ahead. They also,
I'm talking about just a video package.
Oh, well, in the video package, I wanted to mention too, they kind of hyped up someone not on the show at all.
No, they didn't. They did. We got a video package for Mr. If you didn't know the story about TNA in 2009, like 12 years ago, Hulk Hogan is coming to TNA, brother.
Oh, that sounds like great news for TNA. Surely it can only mean good things.
It really can. So the matches, along with Hulk Hogan getting hyped up, was Desmond Wolfe versus Kurt Angle, the Triple Threat main event, and what we thought was Team 3D versus Hernandez and Matt Morgan, because that's what the hype package made it look like.
Yes.
We were lied to. But we'll get back to that later, because a show actually opened up, was for the X Division Championship. Amazing Red was Don West in his corner, the best hype man.
And holding the X Division Championship.
Yep, versus Homicide. Now, I wrote down, before the match, it had X Factors. Red's Amazing Roll was an X Factor. Non-title win leads to...
Shakedown.
To shake-up. Justified Homicide argument. I don't know what that meant, but it was on the screen. So
before we start, I just want to let you know that you had Don West in the corner of Amazing Red, repping Amazing Red and Don West, and you had Homicide representing World Elite.
Yes, but no one from World Elite came out to rep him.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I want to say Don West is an amazing corner man, manager, yelling such wisdoms as, "You're faster, use your quickness, and it's just pain, fight through it."
If I'm getting my ass kicked, I want Don West to cheer me out of it.
This was a good match.
Yeah.
It was. I think I expected more from it. But it was a good match.
I was fine decently with what we got. I knew, especially with the main event, we're probably going to have more flippy-dippy shit then.
The match starts off as Amazing Red outspeeding Homicide. Homicide goes to the outside and pushes Don West. So Don West yells, "What is this crap?" Homicide turns Red inside out with a clothesline.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're not going for these matches spot for spot, just like the bigger stuff. Homicide, Amazing Red, he fights back at some cool lucha spots. He runs at Homicide. Homicide hits him with a huge tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Red goes so high up for it and comes down so quickly. It was awesome.
I was going to say, on commentary, they're having a little back and forth right now. Taz and Mike Tenay, they're talking about who really trained who between Amazing Red and Homicide. And that's when we found out that Amazing Red said that Homicide never trained him. If anyone, it was Mikey Whipwreck. Come to find out, Mikey Whipwreck was the man that trained Homicide and Amazing Red.
Oh. I actually didn't hear that one time. I just heard he trained Amazing Red. I don't train Homicide.
Well, I mean, maybe he didn't train Homicide. Maybe Homicide trained Mikey Whipwreck.
Maybe the Amazing Red trained both of them.
That could be the case. He's so amazing.
Homicide continues to work over Amazing Red, and he flicks off the referee. He puts Red on the top and bites his ear, or what looked like.
Yeah.
Gives him a hickey.
I remember that Homicide gave Amazing Red a hickey.
Now, it may sound weird, but then Homicide climbs the top rope and starts banging Red's face into his chest and motorboating him.
Yeah.
Making Red motorboat him. Red pushes Homicide off the top and comes off with diving arm drag. And he runs at Homicide. Homicide goes for another tilt-to-world backbreaker, but Red turns it into a DDT. That only gets a 2, to which Don West shouts, "You should have counted quicker," to the referee. Homicide goes for an RKO. Red pushes him off and hits a standing moonsault for 2. A fan who looks like it could be Eddie Kingston in the crowd is pissed off. They keep fighting. Amazing Red goes to the top rope and goes for a moonsault. And it looks like he hits the moonsault from the camera angle, but then Homicide goes to cover him.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what the hell? And we find out in replays that apparently Homicide hit him with a cutter.
Yeah.
But, like, not really.
He kind of just got him with it.
He, like, somewhat cuttered him. It didn't look great.
Yeah.
It didn't look like the shooting the Evan Randy one. It just looked so pretty. Just did not look very good. Red. Homicide puts Red back on the top rope. Red kicks him off, and he hits a middle rope cold Red to win. Don West gets in the ring and shouts, "Get to your feet, boy! Stand up!" And they celebrate together.
That's awesome.
That is. It was a good match.
Yeah. I'd give it like 3 stars, maybe 3.5.
Yeah.
I'd probably stick more to 3.
Yeah. It was a good X Division match, but in the history of X Division matches,
they're all pretty good.
Yeah, you have to be really good to stand out.
Yeah, AJ.
Yeah, Amazing Red though. Amazing Red, this may be like a breaking announcement in 2021. Is really damn good with how quick he moves.
For some reason, I was gonna go Amazing Red. This may be news to you, but what are those? I'm like, we're bringing that back, huh? I'm glad.
We then followed it up with not a good match. A 6-woman tag. One of the 2 6-people tags on this card.
Well, before that even starts, I just want to say that the cameras cut back to Mike Snake and Taz at ringside. They talk a little bit about Desmond Wolfe. Thank God they talk a little bit about Desmond Wolfe.
Oh, we'll get to him later. We'll get to him later. There was a sign though when you brought that up. I could see that like it meant they were trying to spell WWE because the last thing on the line said entertainment.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, what the hell were they saying? And we finally see the sign in full, and it says whiny wimping entertainment.
Yeah.
Because of course it did.
He's a TNA mark. He'll do anything to get inside stage 21.
Speaking of signs, there's another great one, but we'll talk about that at the 6-man tag.
Oh yeah.
The great team name that a fan gave one of the teams. But the first 6-person tag is for the Knockout and the women's title.
Well, they're
Knockouts
both
tag and the
Knockouts title, yeah.
As the team of the tag champs, Sarita and Taylor Wilde, and the Knockouts champ, ODB, defended against the Beautiful People.
The worst incarnation of the Beautiful People.
Yes. Velvet Sky, Lacey Von Erich, and Madison Rain. Not even Angelina Love.
Yeah, no, when I realized Angelina Love wasn't in this match, this match went downhill for me. I thought it was the original Beautiful People, at least with Angelina Love and Velvet Sky.
Nah, I knew it wasn't when I saw Lacey. Because Lacey and Angelina weren't in it at the same time. You had the X Factors for the X Division. This was called the Knockouts Tales. Mean Girls in Town. I guess beautiful people. Yeah. Revenge could be beautiful. And all Knockouts Gold on stake. These are some shitty ass pre-match shit.
Speaking of shitty ass things from this match. Like
this match.
Yeah.
I said at the beginning.
Well, The first thing I wrote about was the cameraman were taking liberties.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we all know the beautiful people's entrance in TNA. We all know how the cameraman get. But then they started zooming on women that weren't even part of the beautiful people. They were just zooming in on all these women. Just taking liberties. I'm like, yo.
And sadly, ODB too.
Yeah. Some of these cameramen are fucking horny, bro. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. This was not a good match.
Yeah, no, it was a terrible match.
The face team is all good wrestlers. But then the best wrestler on the heel team is Madison Rayne.
Oh, yeah. I keep saying Velvet Sky in my head. I mean, I give Velvet...
Velvet's not the worst.
No, she's not. And I give her more credibility than anything else because at least she is a member of the beautiful people. Not just someone thrown in there.
So, I don't have a lot about this match down. But at one point, Sarita and Taylor do the leg split spot to Velvet. And Taz goes, I guess that would hurt a female. I assume it would hurt anyone. Yeah. And then they tag in ODB and they hold Velvet Sky's legs like that again. And ODB like salutes and just falls face first into Velvet's crotch.
ODB was getting herself some, no matter who stopped her and who wouldn't.
Eventually the beautiful people took over. I'm not even sure how. But Madison Rayne starts rubbing Outlet out on herself.
Yeah.
And then she screams and like holds her finger and has Velvet blow on it. And Taz is like, oh, she must have wet nail polish. And Mike Tenay's like, I think she's saying that like she's so hot that she burned herself. And Taz like pauses for a second and goes, you're probably more right about that. Sarita does some cool rolls. And roll-ups.
Yeah.
She's a lucha wrestler.
I wrote Sarita tags in. She does a couple moves. She does an arm drag springboard spot off the top rope.
Yeah.
And then she immediately tags in Taylor Wilde. And Taylor does the same thing also.
Yeah. They both like lucha.
Yeah, I realized at this point that Angelina is not in this version of the beautiful people. And then ODB got a hot tag. Either that or I zoned out after I got...
Chloe. So you're a little ahead. So they do the roll-ups and the arm drags. Not Taylor. What's her name? Lacey comes in and hits a terrible clothesline.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we're insulting her because she sucks, but some fan had a sign that said Lacey Von Botch. Damn, what a burn.
I mean, it's not a burn, it's just stating facts.
Yeah. ODB hits a hot tag, or she gets a hot tag. She has clotheslines and a fall-away slam. She's different, says Taz.
Hell yeah.
Eventually all 6 knockouts got in the ring and started fighting.
Yeah. At this point, I think I understood what happened, but let me just run it by you too. All 6 women are in the ring right now, all ganging up on each other, clacks and horn blows, so everyone's in the ring fighting, brawl. The beautiful people eventually get Sarita and Taylor out of the ring, and they all start jumping ODB.
Yeah.
At this point, ODB just she's getting beat up. She then fires back on all the beautiful people, and just pins one of them and then wins.
All right, so I'll get there in a second.
Yes.
But at one point during the big brawl, Lacey sold a punch way before it even came close to connecting to her. So they
I'm not calling out her botches. Fuck that. That's not worth it.
They get Taylor and Sweet out of the ring, and who did she pin? She pinned Madison. All right, so Velvet and Lacey are holding her arms, and Madison goes to run at her at ODB, and ODB kicks Madison, then punches Lacey and punches Velvet, and that's all she does. And then she hits a Samoan drop on Madison, and Lacey and Velvet got hit so hard they can't get up to break up the pin. And ODB pins. I don't even know if it was meant to be a Samoan drop. It just looked like a Samoan drop. And ODB pinned Madison Rayne with a Samoa drop to win.
And that's the face I had of when I first saw this match. Funny enough, that's the same face Andrew's known for making.
Yeah.
I
mean, not that anyone could hear us, but I heard me go, But this was probably the worst match on the card.
Yeah.
The only thing that came close to it was later on, and I feel bad because I love both guys in it, and I really love one of them in it, but that match also was not good.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that eventually. So, instead of doing star ratings, I don't really care about that anymore. At the end of the show, I looked at all the stuff, and I put them in categories of great, good, indifferent, bad, and like just sort of how I like feel about their card.
The whole show.
Yeah, then like whatever category has more, like
that's what wins, kind of.
Yeah,
I feel that.
It sucks that each of them have like 2.
Yeah.
But one of the so first the Amazing Red Homicide match, that wasn't good. Like it was good, but it was nothing like
to write home about. Yeah.
The 6-woman tag wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Then I had to add a 5th category for this next segment, which was great and bad.
Oh, no.
Great and terrible at the same time.
No, I literally scrolled the fuck down and saw this. I don't want to go.
Because the next segment, that got its own category.
Oh, my God.
Of great, terrible. Like, only thing like professional wrestling can have. Something that's great and something that's terrible at the same time.
Well, let's start off with Backstage. You got me, JB, Jeremy Roy here, trying to get a good segment going in with an interview with my boy, Desmond Wolf. Desmond Wolf, take it away.
I wanted to write down all of Desmond's promo, but I didn't.
I wrote down none of it.
I wrote down a good amount of it. So, let me start off by saying, this is like, what, a 30, 40-second promo at most?
Oh.
The way he spoke.
Yeah, nothing about, like, his flow, the way he was speaking, sound. This segment, how about this? The way we're trying to explain this segment and make it go longer is exactly what he was basically doing in his segment.
But, like, no, because he did a we just keep talking. He, like, ended sentences, and I thought he would be done. And then I'd have to, like, keep writing, because it would end. The way he would, like, end a point and then just
pick it back up.
Yes. So the first thing he said is, he's a gentleman, and that he shook Kurt Angle's hand, but then punched Kurt Angle with a closed fist. He said he took a bite out of his career, and the wolf will devour the rest. And I was like, all right, that's his catchphrase.
Yeah.
But then he called the fans window lickers.
Yes.
And he kept talking. He said more, and I was like, all right, now he's done. And then he goes, school's in session. And Wolf 101 ends the career of Kurt Angle. I'm like,
is that your shit
catchphrase?
catchphrase?
I was like, you had so many better things to end it on. Not even better, but I thought this ended like 4 times over by now.
Yeah.
But fine, if that's how you're ending it. Tonight, Kurt Angle will bow to the howl, and I couldn't handle it.
At that point,
I laughed. I was upset. This is because this was the longest short promo I've ever seen in my life.
I've never seen someone ramble so much in the span of only 20 to 30 seconds to make it feel like it was not worth hearing.
I've never seen a promo that sounded like it should have ended so many times and never ended.
Yeah.
It was an amazing promo.
That is fucking dog shit.
It actually ruined my interest for like the next 2 matches.
It
like,
brought down the fucking flow.
I did not take as many notes on the next 2 matches.
The worst part is the next match after this. Looking back at it, which one it is. I mean, it's not a bad match.
No, the next match I put in the good category.
Yeah.
And I may have liked it more, but like
Desmond Wolf is so dog shit at promos.
The entire promo is playing through my mind. Like the next 2 matches, I could not focus. But let's move on. Unlike Desmond, to the next match, which was for the tag team titles, is the champions Brutus Magnus and Douglas Williams defended against Beer Money, Bobby Roode, and James Storm, and the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley.
I don't want to add that for you.
The tagline, get it because was the X Factors and the Knockout Tales, now the taglines.
Oh boy.
Success of British Invasion. Machine Guns Fire on Impact, which sounds like a news headline about like a mass shooting. TNA and Beer Money. Oh no, TNA and Beer Money close loopholes. I don't know what that means. They never explained it.
There are loopholes in their contracts.
So, this was a good match, but like I said, I didn't take many notes because of that Wolf promo. I was just sort of sitting there,
contemplating, wondering if we wanted to still go on the show.
I was honestly considering just calling off the review.
Yeah, no, I kind of felt it too. Even looking at it now, like how long we've been up doing this, just getting through it, we probably should have just ended it. This was probably for the worst.
So, the first note I took, we talked about, is actually the first note that you took too.
Yeah.
Was like a minute or 2 into the match. Was Bobby Roode and Alex Shelley are trading chops.
Yeah.
The match goes on for a few more minutes before I take my next note because I had to go back to contemplating. The Motor City Machine Guns had a nice double team spine buster to Douglas Williams. The match keeps going on. Eventually, Beer Money hits their Beer Money suplex spot to Douglas Williams, where they do a double suplex and stand up and shout beer and money. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Beer Money came out, two fans like held up beer and money.
Yeah. And James Storm was so close to the guy with the money, I thought he was just gonna steal his shit. Like, yeah, I would have.
Douglas Williams is hanging upside down on the ropes, and Magnus somehow got in a position where he's like laying in front of him on his back. And the machine guns pull Magnus's balls. Usually that's why it's like into the ring post, but they pull his balls into Douglas Williams' face.
And Douglas Williams eats Magnus's cock. And Mickey James thought that sounds like a cool idea.
Malone and Machine Guns hit their finisher, that's Skull and Bones, to Magnus. And Williams breaks it up, but this is not an elimination. Beer Money just stood on the apron watching it. So if Magnus didn't break it up, that would have just been in there. Would have been like, huh. Well, we lost. Eventually, Beer Money and the Machine Guns are all hitting like corner moves onto Magnus. There was a big boot German combo by the Brits to Alex Shelley. Beer Money starts to run wild again, and Eric Young from World Elite came out.
Eric Young came out, and we both thought to ourselves,
yes, we thought that.
What the fuck is Desmond Wolf doing out here? I hate that piece of shit. I hope he dies.
We just saw a bald man backstage, and then this other bald man ran out, and my mind was already still stuck on Desmond.
I was heated.
If that was Desmond, we probably would have just turned off the show.
Yeah.
Eric Young pulls James Storm off the apron. He starts to head up the ramp, and Kevin Nash walks out. And honestly, I would not have seen this coming if Jordan had not spoiled this for us.
I didn't know. I didn't know either.
So, when we both thought it was Desmond Wolf, Jordan was like, well, he was in World Elite. And I was trying to remember, I was like, I don't think he was in World Elite. So Jordan looked up all the members of World Elite on, like, Wikipedia.
And their fucking
and of course, it's like
countries.
Eric Young, Canada, Homicide. They put, like, Puerto Rico, even though he's in, like, New York.
Yeah.
But, Kiyoshi, Japan, British Invasion from the UK. And then it said Kevin Nash, America. So then when I saw Kevin Nash walk down the ramp, I was like, oh no. This is the night he joins World Elite.
Yeah.
And,
it is a turning point, alright.
First, he grabs the Legends title, the global title, they renamed it, and he yells at Eric Young. James Storm goes up, and he looks like he's gonna punch Eric Young, but instead, Kevin Nash slightly hits James Storm
he taps him in the back.
And James Storm goes down.
Like a sack of potatoes.
Now, what it was a spine buster with Magnus holding up, I forgot who it even pinned, but he was holding, I think it was Storm up. No, Rude, because Storm was on the outside. And Williams came off the top rope with an uppercut. That was their finisher. But I wrote down what Mike Tenay said. The Brits double team to win.
Yeah, that's what they did to us in the early wars. The early wars? That's what I call them. The early wars.
And then they showed the replay of Nash walking out.
They showed him hitting, who was it, James Storm in the back of the head with the title like 5 times.
They showed the exact replay twice in a row. Like they ended it and then cut right back to the exact same replay clip we just
This is a clip. This is Nash doing the most dastardly thing ever. Putting a title pillow under James Storm's head.
I mean, so it was a good match.
Brits
it was a fine match.
Yeah, it was nothing bad.
I feel like if I rewatch it at some point, I'll like it more if I skip the Desmond Wolf promo before.
I would, if I give it anything, like star-wise, I guess I would say like 2.5. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
No. Because there's not one bad worker in it.
Yeah. Even Kevin fucking Nash with his slight tap to the back of your head.
Okay, so there was one bad worker in it.
I mean, he gets paid anyway, so he doesn't care.
There was a replay of Raven throwing a fireball in Mick Foley's face on Impact.
Forgot to write that.
We're told that Mick Foley will be back this Thursday on Impact. Now,
I don't want to write that either.
Those Impacts aren't on TNA, so no review for that.
Fuck you.
Now, I said a while ago, Nash joined World Elite.
You said that like in the last segment.
Yes. We only knew that because of Wikipedia, because his promo did not let us know that he joined World Elite.
Yeah. So, JB, Jerry Rash, we're backstage here with another interview, and I have big, sexy Kevin Asher.
So, I want to say this opening line because I got it. JB was like, Kevin Nash, what the hell was that all about? And Kevin Nash was like, do you kiss your mom with that mouth? And JB was like, I don't kiss my mom with that mouth. And
my mom's dead.
Kevin Nash was like, I kiss your mom with that mouth.
You're dead, mom. Kevin Nash said, too sweet, baby, and walked out.
Kevin asked, so Desmond Wolf talked for a long time and said nothing. Kevin Nash talked for a short time
and said everything.
No, he said even less somehow.
But
Desmond Wolf said everything and nothing. Kevin Nash said nothing and nothing.
But still made... Okay, no. At least when Desmond Wolf said fucking nothing, and it felt like he was wasting my time, it felt like he was wasting my time.
Yeah, Kevin
when Nash was wasting my time, Nash wasn't wasting my time. He was entertaining me.
Funny.
He said, I fucked your mama, JB, and walked off.
No, he didn't walk off. He said, Hulk knows why I did it, and if Hulk tells him that he can get the okay to tell him why he did it, he's gonna tell him why he did it.
You know, and JB was like, snitch to Big Daddy Hulk Hogan.
And JB was like, so wait, Hogan knows about this? And Nash's response was, Hulk.
And fucking walked away.
Oh my god, I like Kevin Nash.
The only thing real in this business is the miles and the money.
That is true.
Fucking big sex.
The next match I also liked.
Yeah, I enjoyed this match too. I liked a lot of the women. There's only 2 women in this match. But I like these women. I like both of them. Yep. They're great wrestlers.
I think this match I was starting to come over my Desmond Wolf thing, so I like this match more than the tag title match.
This match I was starting to come over Desmond Wolf. Like, what?
In a cage match, Awesome Kong takes on Tara.
I'm sorry, it's a 6 size of steel, you mark.
In a steel cage match, Awesome Kong takes on Tara. Actually, being a mark is more explaining the specific name for the individual company and not just how basic.
Are you Mark? You fucking still going on, right?
So Awesome Kong versus Tara inside a steel cage, 6 sides, 8 sides steel cage, an octagon. The match starts off as Kong and Tara trading punches.
Yeah, I realized I didn't write anything in the beginning of this match either.
They go to brawl. Eventually, Victoria starts to climb the ropes. And Awesome Kong hits her with an electric chair drop, and Taz is like, that's so devastating because it's off the cage. I was like, no, because it's not like they're on the top rope, which would have added more height.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that she was climbing a cage. She was still on Kong's shoulders when she fell. It would have been the same height if it wasn't in a cage. But, you know. Kong goes to the middle rope and hits a missile dropkick to Tara.
I wrote that down.
I was not expecting that.
And surprisingly, Tara kicks out at 2.
Yeah. That could have been the finish. I would have believed it.
Yeah.
If I was Tara, I don't even know if I feel like getting back up. I'd be like, you know what?
You got a good point here, Kong.
Kong pulls her into the cage and splashes her. Mm-hmm. Tara had a lot of time to move, but decided she liked the view, I guess, through the holes of the cage.
Tara's trying to show off whatever she can.
Alright.
She's got a spider to pay for, you fucking mark.
That's true. Kong keeps...
Oh boy, this is gonna go great.
I'm glad you didn't even want me to agree with your point, because then that's rude. You got upset that I agreed with your point. Kong keeps throwing Tara into the cage. Kong suplexes Tara into the cage. Like, Kong standing in front of it hits a vertical suplex. Tara's back hits the cage, and then she just falls down. Kong tries for that again, but Tara's able to turn it around and hit a DDT onto Awesome Kong. She hits her standing moves out for 2, the one that she's known for.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them.
Is that the booty popping one?
Yeah, but she didn't booty pop.
This is what she buried on TNA.
Both women climb, and they both crotch each other on the top rope. Eventually, Kong goes back to the top and goes to the rope, and Victoria hits her with a power bomb.
You've been calling her Tara so far?
No, I call her Victoria once too. Like, it's gonna go back and forth between this and the Pope and I forgot who else. Desmond Wolf, because I also call him Nigel in the middle of my notes.
You've been calling Marty Jannetty the Kool-Aid Man. You're just going over the place.
So then, Tara climbs to the very top. And, like, you know how when every other single wrestler has dived off the cage...
They climb to the very top of it.
And they're standing on the cage.
And it looks so cool.
They're standing on it so they can have balance and everything.
And it looks cool.
Yeah. Victoria decided, I'm just going to sit on it and launch myself off.
She got a bit of that Jeff Hardy Willow in her. And was like, you know what? Fuck a swanton. I'm just going to splash off it.
Yeah. Victoria,
lazy ass.
From a sitting position, just hit a Lou Fez press.
She's like, my booty so big, I'm not fucking getting off this cage.
I guess from the top of the cage, she was technically on the top of it. She was like sitting on it.
You know, if I ever climb to the top of the cage, I'm not sitting on top of it either. You know how much weight I have in the back of my ass? I will fall out.
Well, then do a moonsault.
That's a good point. Or just Rikishi driver off this.
So yeah, it was like top dive off the cage, always cool and all. But Victoria found a way to make it a little less cool, and Nebulizer dive off the cage.
At least she managed to land this Luthez and not fuck up her leg, like Lita at New Year's Revolution.
Yeah, a lady with a giant fucking knee brace already before this match decided to do a Luthez press from the top of a cage. It's amazing she didn't.
Fuck up her leg like Lita at New Year's Revolution.
Yeah.
Was that a shoot? Was that...
Yeah. She actually, fucked up her leg.
Oh my fucking god, that's right. So she does a Luthez press and pins Kong to win.
Yeah, I went through most of this match. If you have anything else you want to...
I'd give it 2 and 3/4. Maybe even 3. I know we're not doing stars, but I'm still...
I put it in a good category for me.
Yeah, good.
There was another Hulk Hogan hype package.
Taz and TNA putting over Hulk Hogan as they play the Hulk Hogan TNA signing hype package again for the 3rd time. This time they show a little more of clips from other people. I noticed because I've been watching a lot of other podcast people. I'm not gonna say names, but they were doing the Sting TNA debut, and they had all the X Division guys look like marks talking about how they love Sting so much. And now we have...
That was a good Deadlock episode.
Shut the fuck up. Now they have Matt Morgan doing the same thing, putting over Hulk Hogan, being like, man, I was a little Hulkster. Remember that time?
Morgan said you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what this is going to do for the business.
Yeah, it's going to put business on its back.
And now it exploded like the rocket ship.
Oh, boy.
Hulk Hogan going to TNA was just like the challenger.
It blew up.
Yeah.
Like the World Trade... Rhino did...
Oh, so remember how he said the opening video package, it made it seem like it was going to be Team 3D versus Morgan and Hernandez?
Well, it was.
Well, first out came Rhino for this match.
And we were like...
It's Rhino. And
who's he fighting?
Out came Team 3D.
And it's a handicap match.
And myself, wait.
Wait a minute.
Team 3D was fighting Morgan and Hernandez.
No, they're fighting Rhino. It's a handicap match. Come on.
And I was like,
wait. Card subject to change. Don't you see the team name? Don't you see the team name of Holy Mexican DNA?
We'll get to that in a second. Because as Team 3D was walking out, Bubba looked pissed.
Oh my fucking god.
Bubba did not look happy.
Yeah.
Bubba and Devon are the IWGP tag champs, and Bubba from the ramp chucked the title into the ring.
Yeah.
And it just crashed down to the earth.
Bubba was not happy that his match got turned into a 6-man tag.
So then...
I'm guessing... I'm still saying it got turned into a 6-man tag.
So then Morgan and Hernandez came out. Well, first their partner came out. But Morgan and Hernandez came out because they're the ones we saw fighting 3D.
Yeah.
And their partner was the Pope. D'Angelo De Niro.
Shout out to D'Angelo De Niro. Him and EJ have a long-standing thing that go back years now. I haven't got to, see the man because of EJ, so if it wasn't for him, I would have never met the Pope. And that's something I can take with me for the rest of my life.
That's beautiful.
I love the Pope. I really do.
I thought he should have been a TNA champion.
He should have been any champion. Fuck you. Just give that man a title.
Before this match starts, Bubba gets very close to the camera and just stares into it.
Yeah. No, Bubba. Why don't we have that photo?
I wish we did. So, the match starts off as Devon and Hernandez, but Matt Morgan and the Pope start to argue, right away for some reason. Yeah, so Hernandez looks like, what the fuck, guys? And Devon's able to jump him at the very beginning. Devon punches him a bit and runs a rope, and an awful shoulder tackle by Hernandez, or maybe just an awful sell by Devon, but it looked bad. Berg tags himself in. He runs wild on Devon for a little bit before Bubba tags himself in. Bubba rips up Pope's money. Pope spits in Bubba's face.
And Bubba fucking shoves him for it.
And then Pope double legs him and beats his ass. And Bubba goes to the outside. Bubba eventually gets back in and starts to take over. He starts to run wild with that heel offense, even though we didn't really know who the heels were.
Yeah, no one... It was weird to see who was working heels and face. You would think that the heels weren't going to be able to get along. But it was the faces.
But, yeah. But, so... Bubba starts doing the most evil of moves. The Dusty Rhodes elbow. But as he does that little thing where he tells his opponent to suck his dick, D'Angelo Nair says, I also like Dusty Rhodes. And he starts throwing Dusty Rhodes elbows onto Bubba. Let's see. And then he pimp slaps Bubba.
Yeah.
Bubba falls in the ropes and the Angel does the Mark Henry OMG spot from the games. That gets later on in the match, they get into like a brawl. Everybody's inside a ring again. It happens again in another 6-man tag. And Team 3D, it looks like they're about to hit the 3D onto Hernandez. And the Pope shoulder tackles Hernandez out of the way, so he doesn't get hit with his 3D. Instead, Pope gets hit by like that backbreaker neck combo that they do. Hernandez on the outside looks pissed, like, yo, this bitch just turned on me. But Devon on his team goes, he saved you. And if I was Devon, I'd be like, nah, he hit you. You're right. Beat his ass. Go get him.
Devon kind of snitching on himself, being like, nah, he saved you, homie.
My next note was ECW, which is the Dudleys and Rhino.
Yeah.
Works over the pimp for his sins in WWE ECW.
That's a good point. This was the only time you'll ever see Team 3D get to fight a member of the New Breed.
Yeah.
They don't meet Marcus Corvon or whoever.
I mean,
Kevin Thorne.
They fought Marcus before he went to WWE.
Yeah. But he was in the New Breed then. This is literally the Pope coming out of the New Breed.
Yeah. They keep working over the Pope because he's the smallest man on his team.
He's part of the New Breed. I'd work him over too.
And Bubba hits an elbow drop on the outside of the Pope, and he says, "That's what you get, pimp."
Oh my fucking!
I'm a bigger pimp. Pimp.
Yes, the great lines of Bubba cutting to the Pope. I don't even want to repeat that shit again.
Hernandez eventually... No, not Hernandez, because this was funny, man. Morgan makes a hot tag, and he runs wild on Rhino, and he goes to do that spot like where you hit the guys off the apron, and Team 3D just jumps down.
Yeah.
And Matt Morgan just looks at them for a little bit, and then turns around and goes, "I'll keep fighting Rhino." It's funny because like a few minutes later, Hernandez makes a hot tag, and he beats up every member of Team ECW. He throws them all out of the ring. He does that huge taker dive that Hernandez can always do for some reason, despite being that big. And then he hits a huge frog splash, only gets a 2. Everybody keeps fighting. Man, Morgan eventually hits a chokeslam to Bubba. Rhino. It's like this spot where everyone like hits their big moves. So like Morgan hit the chokeslam to Bubba, but Rhino's big move was just throwing Morgan over the top rope.
Yeah.
And somehow this stupid bitch hurt his knee going over the top rope.
Yeah. Matt Morgan freaking jammed his leg somehow, doing a perfectly normal spot.
Yeah. Which makes it even weirder because earlier in the match he also does that like rope running spot where like he like sort of like sits on them, like usually in the middle rope because he's tall. He goes over the top rope.
Yeah.
He landed a lot more crazier and was fine.
Yeah.
But going over completely controlled, he like killed himself. So everyone's just the rest distracted because it broke down again. Hernandez has Rhino up for the border toss, but Devon hits Hernandez in the gut with a chair. Rhino gets down and hits the gourd to win. I'd put it under indifferent. It was a fine 6-man tag.
Yeah.
But nothing really memorable happened.
It wasn't a pay-per-view match, though.
No.
I don't think it was a pay-per-view match at all. I feel like that's definitely...
That could have fit on their weekly show.
Yeah.
Probably would have made more sense on their weekly show.
I don't know why. I definitely think they must have ran out of time, though. They were given, like... How about this? It's funny enough, because I feel like this match could have used a lot, probably, if anything, probably more time than the next match.
Yeah.
Because...
Like
that probably hindered a lot of the also like the match flow, like the fact that we were going from a 6-man tag to then this other brawl. We have this other chaotic brawl we're gonna have to go to.
Yeah. All right, so it was a fine match.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, fine. 2.
I was expecting Bubba to hit people harder when how pissed he was. I was surprised how well he controlled himself.
I'll give it 2 stars.
Scott Steiner is backstage. And Scott Steiner starts off the interview by looking he's about to the interview with a pipe, but he just throws it.
You already know it's the big bad booty daddy.
He says it's not his fault that Lashley's wife's in love with him. It's not his fault that Lashley can't control or excite her or satisfy her. He says...
It's not her fault?
No, it's not his fault.
It's his fault. Lashley's.
Yeah, it's Lashley's fault. He says it's she found out that Lashley's muscles are all for show.
And not for grow, like his.
He said he beat Will Chamberlain's record.
A fucking woman in one night.
He said that Big Bad Booty Daddy can go.
And he'll go all over Sacramento.
He said that Crystal wants him to bust her out.
And bust her out live on Bust Down.
He said, Scott Steiner said tonight he's going to cover both Lashleys. One's going to be a winner, one's going to be a loser, and Crystal's going to be a big winner.
Hell yeah. Give me more of it. Thank you, Steiner.
I love Scott Steiner, but I said one other match went to the bad category.
Yeah, but at least the promo was phenomenal.
The promo went into... It was a great category.
Yeah.
And the promo went into the great category.
Yeah.
Which brought us to Scott Steiner versus Bobby Lashley. We were told that because of how he was stalking Crystal, this is mid-change to a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Which means that this match could end
anywhere. Oh yeah, the build to this is Steiner's trying to fuck Crystal. Like the first time he saw in the crowd, he grabbed her hands and made her touch his nipples. Then like he
feel my nipples, baby.
Lashley kept bringing her to Impact when he knew Steiner was there. Steiner kidnapped her one week, just picked her up and walked away. Steiner like jumped them in her hotel room. So they start to brawl on the ramp when they actually come out. Steiner takes over by hitting multiple low blows.
He said his dick's not gonna work to fuck you anyway, Crystal. So you might as well jump to the Big Bad Booty Daddy side.
Steiner hits multiple of his belly-to-belly suplexes.
Yeah, I funny enough, this is probably like after all the matches I didn't write shit. This is probably the one I wrote the most for because I was really looking forward to it.
I probably have less notes for you, so I'll just go first and then you can take over.
Alright.
He hits a Frankensteiner where he lands on his own head and shoulders, but because he's got such a giant fucking shoulder.
Oh, you also... Sorry.
Yeah.
At one point, when Steiner's throwing the bunch of belly-to-bellies, Mike TNA and Taz have this really deep discussion about the explosive hips you need to have to throw the bellies-to-bellies and suplexes. Because Taz is a suplex machine if you didn't know that.
I didn't know that, thank you.
So, I just wanted to let you know that Taz thinks that Scott Steiner has nice explosive hips. Probably could wear a maroon thong at Royal Rumble for some reason. I don't know.
So Steiner and Lashley go to fight backstage, and there is no camera following them. For a little bit, you're just looking at an empty hallway, and then we cut back to the crowd, and there's just nothing going on. And Taz is like, do we have a cameraman? And Mike Tenay goes, we're trying to get one.
No, we don't. And
when we finally do catch
the
up...
The tape machines are rolling.
When we finally do catch up to them, Scott Steiner is bleeding.
Yeah, out of nowhere. He gigged, brother. Sorry to let you know that.
Bobby Lashley hits a vertical suplex through a table onto the concrete floor. He picks up a 2x4, and I say, ho. And then the crowd and Taz say, ho, I beat those stupid fuckers.
Yeah, you let him know.
Bobby Lashley would go on to hit two terrible, shots with the 2x4.
Yeah.
They looked awful. And then he goes to spear Scott Steiner. Steiner just steps to the side.
Yeah, Lashley goes to spear Steiner into kind of a box. It's kind of not a box. It's more like a box-like structure. Let me see if that one gets over.
Box-like structure. So it's sort of like a box.
It's not a box.
Okay.
It's a box-like structure.
Steiner then walks away, and Bobby Lashley walks after him, and they're just walking, and they keep walking.
Yeah, they're just
and then they
chasing each other.
They walk back. No, not chasing. That involves running.
Yeah,
they're walking. And then they walk back to the actual Impact Zone, and
they walk some more.
The hallway was too small for the cameraman to fit, so he just stops.
So he's walking.
He just stops there and watches them walk away. They get smaller and smaller.
And they're walking.
Go off into the distance.
And they're walking.
And we eventually catch up with them with a different cameraman in the Impact Zone and see them walking.
And they're still walking some more.
And Steiner walks up the steps to the Spanish announce team.
While Lashley walks up after him.
Well, Steiner hit him back down. He said, no more walking for you.
Yeah.
And he just tears a set down behind him. It's
that's right.
Starts ripping apart the structure for some reason.
Fuck this Kurt Angle poster. Kurt Angle piece of bacon.
And he tears a pipe down, and he hits Lashley with it, and he wins.
Yeah, that's it.
I love Scott Steiner. I love Bobby Lashley.
But fuck this match fucking
That
sucks.
was awful.
Yeah, bro.
That was terrible.
Yeah, I've not seen a worse last man standing Falls Count Anywhere match since that one that happened last year at the Performance Center.
Oh, yeah. At least this one was shorter.
Thank God. I don't know how long I can take that. We'd still be down there right now watching the fucking
That
main event.
was not the worst match on the card because of a 6-woman tag, but it was the second worst match on the card.
Yeah. After the 6-woman tag.
We didn't cut backstage. Jeremy Borash was Kurt Angle, and I wrote nothing.
Kurt cuts a promo saying that Desmond Wolfe, because Desmond Wolfe said he knows who Kurt Angle is. And then Kurt Angle said, "Oh yeah, pussy? Well, I don't need to know who you are to beat you." He called him a jabroni. He didn't say that literally, but he basically did. He said he doesn't need to know who he is, where he's from, fuck Ring of Honor, and fuck Nigel McGuinness. And then he walked out. And at that point, yeah, we all fucking said, "You get him, Kurt." Next match, Kurt Angle, Desmond Wolfe.
This was a great match.
Yeah.
As you should have guessed. And I wrote down a good amount of stuff, but I didn't write down everything. It's better to just watch this match and have it described to you.
Yeah.
But these two obviously start off as a lot of chain wrestling and basics. But because they're Kurt Angle and Nigel McGuinness, they make the basics look really good.
And they make it look really, really good. A lot of good transitions I saw in here. That stuff that I would have never seen, stuff that I've never saw before. You know, as a fan of Matt Wrestling, this is definitely good Matt Wrestling. Fuck you.
So they're very trading back and forth 50-50. Nobody can take advantage. Like, for a few minutes into the match, eventually Wolf is able to take over, and Angle runs at him and rams himself into the ring post when Wolf moves. Wolf starts to work over the arm of Kurt Angle. And he continues to work over the arm, like reversing cradles, and then like when he kicked out, he would slam Angle's arm into the mat. He would body slam Kurt Angle, like with Angle's injured arm trapped behind him. Kurt Angle would eventually be able to fight back with not 1, not 2, but 6. I'm not going to count the rest away. 6 straight German suplexes to Nigel McGuinness. He goes for the Angle slam, but Wolf is able to counter with the arm drag to Kurt Angle's injured arm.
I was like, what the hell? You're like, this review's done.
He continues to work over Angle's injured arm, and he sets him up for the Tower of London. But Kurt Angle's able to sit behind him with the Angle slam for a 2 count. Nigel McGuinness is able to fight back, take control, continue working over the arm. And he got him in I didn't see what the first submission was, but Angle's able to counter it into an ankle lock. Nigel McGuinness is able to counter the ankle lock into an arm bar, which Kurt Angle's able to counter into an ankle lock.
I think, hold on, it might have been like a top wrist lock or something, and like he goes
well,
down.
The key lock was later.
Okay.
Kurt Angle, Nigel McGuinness is able to get...
Oh, wait. Was it a hammer lock? It might have been a hammer lock. When he goes down, rolls... Yeah.
Kurt Angle's able to counter Nigel's able to counter the Angle slam and the DDT.
Yeah.
Finally able to connect with the Tower of London for a 2 count. Angle misses a moonsault.
Close to count. Kurt Angle with the backwards. Fuck.
That's what I wrote. Angle misses the backwards. Alexander Wolf.
Why?
Because all my notes said was Wolf.
Okay.
Desmond Wolf grabbed him with the key lock, but Angle's leg was able to get the ropes. They're both in a position, like, late into the match, where they're, like, having each other up for the tombstone.
Yeah.
Angle's able to roll, like, out of it and get him into the ankle lock.
Kind of like how you did Taker.
Yep. But unlike Taker, he transitions it into an arm bar.
Why did Taker ever do that?
I don't know, because Angle transitioned it to the arm bar.
Well, that's a good point.
Well, no, the triangle.
That's a really good point.
It wasn't an arm bar. Angle changed it to a triangle, and Desmond Wolf tapped out to the triangle. And what I described in probably like 2 minutes, and probably like a 20-some minute match.
Yeah.
It was, depending on what style of wrestling you like, it was the best match on the card if you like more like in-ring compared to like spots.
Yeah.
If you like spots, the main event was the best match on the card.
Yeah.
if you like technical back and forth wrestling, this match was the best match on the card. Like, both matches were great.
Yeah.
Angle and Wolf and Joe, AJ, and Daniels, but they were great for different reasons. Like, Joe, AJ, and Daniels was like a lot more like pre-set up spots, obviously, where Wolf and Angle was just a bunch of
less wrestling.
Like a legit. It seemed like
even the crowd was just like wrestling.
It would look like if wrestling was real, that would be what like a wrestling match would look like. Like a lot of rolling back and forth, chain wrestling,
Tower
like yes, realistic looking stuff. It was a really good match. I know Desmond Wolf won the first match between the two, but then he never won a match again. And then, like, the downfall of his TNA career.
What's calling Jay Lethal Ghetto Booty.
Yeah. And Desmond Wolf's career peaked on his first match and was Angle, and then it just went all.
And it peaked and then it fell to a point where it plummeted when he said, Jay Lethal, you and your ghetto booty.
It really hit a low when Hogan came in, because Hogan liked the Pope, even though Pope wasn't very big, because Pope had charisma. Nigel didn't really
have charisma.
He could talk. I don't know if I can say after.
Yeah. No, you can't.
Nigel, he wasn't an awful talker. Like, he didn't stumble over words, but he wasn't a great promo. But he also didn't look like Hogan was also looking for a look. The Pope also had a look.
Yeah.
Like, guys at Angle pushed or Hogan pushed had a look.
Oh no, Michael Cole.
And unfortunately for Hulk Hogan, or unfortunately for Desmond Wolf,
you want to take it?
I thought I just closed it. For a second I said I was like, I did.
Take the collar off. So let's just keep making noise.
Unfortunately for Desmond Wolf, Hulk Hogan did not see anything in him, and when Hogan really took over, Desmond Wolf's push was over.
Hulk Hogan took over, Desmond Wolf's push is over. Yeah, sounds about right.
But that was a great match, definitely worth watching.
Yeah, great match. 3.5. I'd give it probably almost even a 4. 3.5, yeah.
Before the main event, Samoa Joe was backstage.
He says, I'll kill you, I'll kill you, I'll kill Daniels, I'll kill Styles, I'll kill Joe. And he just walks away.
He said that these issues between Daniels and AJ have always been there, always trying to one-up each other. He hasn't stirred the pot. There's a point...
There's no reason to stir a pot when the pot's being stirred by yourself.
There's a point where AJ's attacked backstage by...
the video package.
By a bald man. And for some reason, AJ goes to interrogate Joe. And Joe's like, I have hair.
You idiot.
Look at Daniels. And AJ's like, I don't think you did it. And Daniels was like, what? You know what I'm saying? I could. That was the sound that Daniels made. He's like, what? You don't think I could have attacked you? So really the build is, Daniels is like, I'm just as good as you. I've never got the same opportunities as you. And Joe's also here as well.
I mean, this is all true. I mean, question. Yeah. When you think of great TNA talents that are the homegrown talents, you think of these three right here.
Yeah.
I mean, Joey can't say he was made in Ring of Honor, but for the most part, Daniels doesn't get the same fair trade.
No, Daniels didn't get
anything.
The props that he probably deserves in TNA.
Anything. And Daniels is so fucking cool.
And he's so good.
Yeah. There's no reason for him to...
Joe didn't... I've always said, you know my film is this, I don't think Joe had a great TNA run. I think Joe had a great first 3 years, from 05 to 08, and I think the next 6 years was bad.
Yeah.
I think TNA... I think people, overhype or over-love Samoa Joe's TNA run. It was not good for the majority of it.
Yeah.
But at least he
got...
got...
dick on his face.
But at least he got one world title reign.
And he got the feud with the hottest guy in the company at the time, Angle.
Yeah, Daniels didn't get that stuff.
Yeah. Daniels didn't have even a penis drawn on his face. He had a penis drawn on his chest.
But he also had to deal with a good amount of the bad stuff like Joe had to deal with, but without getting the few career really big highlights.
Yeah.
So let's start off. Obviously, this was a very spot-filled match, so we're not going to go over everything. I'll go whenever you want. You know what? I've been taking long. How much did you write down for this?
I wrote down a lot.
All right.
Okay, so we got the match. championship match. Starting off, all three men are staring down each other in the corner. The first thing I wrote down is that AJ runs into the corner and hits a forearm on Joe. Joe takes over, throwing strikes and jabs at AJ. Daniels cuts Joe off with a single leg drop kick at one point. AJ tries rolling up Daniels while Joe's cut off with a single leg drop kick. Daniels gets shot off the ropes and tries to cut off AJ. AJ still gets so AJ whips Daniels into the ropes, and Daniels pulls himself back to avoid the leapfrog dropkick combo that AJ does.
Did the leapfrog, AJ did the drop down.
He didn't do the drop kick though. Because Daniels held on.
Yeah, but then
Daniels runs anyway. He fucking gets drop kicked anyway because he's an idiot. And then he gives one to Joe to stop Joe from even getting into the ring. AJ then has a headlock on Daniels while he's working over Daniels. He manages to get another drop kick in, or he stops Joe from getting in the ring.
He's got the headlock on Daniels in the ring. Joe's on the apron. AJ drop kicks Joe off the apron, but also uses that to sort of keep the headlock on Daniels.
Yeah.
And bring Daniels back down to the mat.
At that point, Joe finally gets onto the ropes and hotshots Daniels to get enough chance to get back in the ring. While AJ is on the floor, Joe just runs over and punts AJ right in the ribs as he's bent over. Joe has the momentum. Him and Daniels start getting into it. Joe then rolls on the floor, does an Emirati roll, and goes for the ankle pick on Daniels and goes into a leg lock. AJ eventually breaks up the submission on Joe and Daniels. AJ now takes over the momentum. AJ locks in a Muda lock on Joe, and then he where did I go from here? Fuck. AJ has a Muda lock on Joe.
Sounds like you really want to first spot this match.
Yeah.
I just wrote down the big spots. So at one point, Joe's choking Daniels on the outside of the ring.
When I were all over the place.
Well, okay, you keep going then.
AJ has a Muda lock on Joe. Daniels drop toe hold Styles. Daniels snaps AJ's neck. At this point, Daniels has the Boston Crab camel clutch locked in on Joe and Styles. And then Joe fucking gets out of it. He takes over and starts giving the boot face washes to AJ and Daniels in different corners. At that point, I have nothing else.
Alright.
Do you have from the boot face washes with Joe? Okay.
So my next one is Joe's choking Daniels on the outside.
Yeah.
AJ Styles sort of does a version of this. You want to stop honking this big? Does a version of the Spaceman plancha, onto Joe and Daniels while they're in the choke on the outside. There's a screw Hulk Hogan chant,
which I believe.
Here. Daniels does a monkey flip. So they try to do a callback to their first three-way. They do a callback to the first one where Daniels does a monkey flip to AJ and AJ Hurricane Rana Samoa Joe. But this time Daniels does a monkey flip to AJ and AJ gets caught by Samoa Joe and Samoa Joe power bombs AJ into Christopher Daniels. They keep going on. Obviously Daniels hits an Uranagi on Styles, but that's why he also has Joe in a Dragon Sleeper. So he slams AJ Styles down onto Samoa Joe. Then there's your dog is crying. Then there's a who needs Hulk Hogan chant. We're very anti-Hogan during this match. I'm
very anti-Hogan too, in general.
They end up hitting. Hold on, I got an idea. AJ Styles hits a huge, phenomenal forearm onto Samoa Joe.
Good job.
A huge phenomenal forearm to Samoa Joe. He gets really high up in the air.
Gets so high, like me.
They keep going on. Samoa Joe eventually hits a muscle buster to Christopher Daniels, but AJ Styles breaks it up. I have no idea what I wrote there.
Hell yeah.
The match keeps going on for a little bit. Samoa Joe tries for one more muscle buster. Daniels is able to counter it, knocks on Joe, hits the BME, but right as he's going for the pin, AJ Styles goes flying in with a springboard 450.
He just fucking botches it basically.
Drops his knees right. drops his knees right on Christopher Daniels' spine, and AJ Styles is able to retain the championship.
He pins and wins.
It was a very good match, obviously.
Yeah, I like that one. 4.25.
Yeah, 4.2. Oh, 4 and a quarter. I was like, I thought you said 4.125. I was like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, that's right down to the very decimal.
But yeah.
Of my excitement level.
Obviously a great match.
Yeah.
I have no idea if it lived up to the first. Like, I feel like it probably didn't just because you never hear the second one talked about.
No, you don't.
But it was a really great match. I don't know why it's not talked about, just because it doesn't live up to apparently the best match in TNA history.
I mean, to be fair, it was right during the middle of the match we realized we never even seen the first one to compare it to, which is the reason why we started this whole stream, which is the reason why we started this whole review, is to compare it to the fucking first one from Unbreakable 2005. But guess what? We never seen, y'all. We never seen Unbreakable 2005. So next time when we get y'all donations to donate to our next fucking review, we'll watch Unbreakable 2005. Woo! But guess what? That's only if we get like enough likes and shit. But until then, yeah, we'll probably.
So overall, I think this pay-per-view, out of a 10, I'll give it like a 7. There were 2 great matches, and everything else was fine. Most other things were fine or good, and then there was like 2 bad matches.
Andrew gives it a 7 out of 10 just to throw everyone off who's keeping score at home. I will give this a B-.
There's our rating.
Yeah.
7 out of 10 and a B-.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us for our review.
And look at Samoa Joe's face. I love y'all.